to New Japan and wins the championship. He's been for Ring of Honor around the championships, Impact Wrestling, and won the Equal title all over the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our team pleasure in Atlanta to bring you the first time ever, Alex Shelley.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Atlanta Wrestling Entertainment presents Show of the Year 6. I am Danny Danger. I'll be calling the action for you all night long. Together again, we are World's Cutest Commentary Team. My partner, the lovely Mika Villas.
It is good to be back home. It is good to be here for Show of the Year 6. We are kicking off with what is guaranteed to be a barn burner here. Suge D of the Hierarchy taking on world famous in his own right, Alex Shelley.
This match alone could top any card around the world, but we bring it to you here. First match, 605, two of the best. Now Suge D, it's a little bit different Suge D than we've seen as of late. You know, he came out, well, it's been a few months since we've seen him. He's been in Europe. He's been, primarily in the UK. But, his appearance and his demeanor kind of coming to the ring, a little bit different than what we've seen. It does.
Swagger altogether here. Suge talked about technical prowess. He's got shit. Right now, look at this. Technically,
he's tying up one of the best. And Alex Shelley took a little bit of time off. He talked about retirement kind of quietly, took some time off, but he's back, and he's been back for a few months. Thankfully, we were able to get him here, and Suge D demanded this match. When we said we were going to be bringing Alex Shelley in, Suge said, "Let me prove myself against one of the best technical wrestlers." Suge's had, for years, people kind of wrote him off as a comedy guy because of things he did earlier in his career. He's striven, very hard to try and disprove that and show that there are multiple facets to his game, and that's part of what led him to travel not only outside of his own state, but outside of his own country.
Look at this. Right now, he's getting a crowd behind him. Suge is a showman. That's first and foremost in his repertoire, but he is a serious artist. He's a serious wrestler, and he wants respect. He had to travel overseas. Suge feels that he went overseas to gain the respect that he did not get here in his home country, in his home state, in his home city of Atlanta. So here he is right now. Oh.
He's in a lot of trouble there. Shelley has him tied up.
Look at the torque, the way Suge's arms, the body doesn't bend like that. Just that V was deep, and I was scared Shelley was going to do something that could have possibly injured Suge there.
Shelley is just transitioning from hold to hold to hold, showing why he is one of the best technical wrestlers in the world and has been for well over a decade. Alex Shelley is somebody who...
Whoa, but look at this. Suge D, not to be outdone. He's got, oh my gosh, he's got Shelley's legs all tied up and grapevine, and look at this.
I was just going to put over some of the accolades of Alex Shelley, and here Suge D takes control and starts twisting with, his own technical prowess. He refers to himself as a techer now. That's the British way of saying they're a technical wrestler. He's adapted a lot more of that vernacular into his own repertoire. He refers to himself as a techer, and he is showing that he has earned those stripes.
Suge may be a techer right now, but Alex Shelley, again, has been around the
Oh,
world.
Shelley pulling on the fingers, though. We see the hand taped up. I'm not sure the extent of the possible injury that may be there.
Shelley zoned in on it. That tape on that hand could be an injury, and Shelley, world famous competitor and just smart wrestler.
Goes right into the Cobra stretch in the center, but he's got that other arm tied up as well. A variation on the maneuver. It is one thing, Shelley is a student of the game. He's traveled the world many times over and studied various forms of professional wrestling, from lucha to the Japanese strong style, to the American style, to the British style. And he uses all of that in his repertoire to make himself a very dangerous and difficult opponent for anyone.
He's hanging right in there, trading hole for hole, escaping moves, and oh, look at this.
Rolls him back into a pin. One. Barely got a 2 count there before Shelley was able to kick up, but he put a lot of torque on that shoulder in that hold, leading into that pin.
Suge now unwrapping that hand. I don't know maybe he's trying to get some feeling back in those fingers and that palm, or maybe just the tape's in the way. Perhaps he didn't have a good enough grip that he feels that maybe he got a 3 count on that last predicament there.
You see Shelley kind of popping that elbow, trying to get that back in place. We need to keep an eye on what could be the possible weak points and strategy for both men.
And I wonder, I mean, there is tons and tons of tape out there on Alex Shelley. And, you know, no slouch, but let's be honest. I wonder if Shelley comes into this thinking like, you know, hey, I got this.
I mean, it is very possible somebody that is world traveled, you know, some of them may not always do all their tape study on their opponents. And, you know, Suge's been wrestling this more technical style, you know, not nearly as long. There's not as much tape to study as there is on somebody, you know, whose career has been so prolific as Alex Shelley's. You know, he's wrestled, I mean, you can find him on multiple online streaming services right now. You know, you can do a lot of homework in a very short amount of time, where Suge might be a little bit harder to study for.
This is definitely right there, a little bit quicker on the draw than Alex Shelley, who is not by any means a slow competitor in the ring.
There's a little bit of that World of Sports style, the up and over, under. Takes him with a trip. Dives on with a Superman pin. 2. Shelley able to get the shoulder up. And Suge goes right back on the attack.
Oh, good gosh.
Shelley would not let him maintain that headlock. Picked him straight up, dropped him down.
Technical about that. That was just using power and leverage and driving a man's body down to the mat.
Shelley now pulling on the hair of Suge D.
Again, Shelley taking some liberties, perhaps.
Uh-oh.
Wait a minute.
Nailing him with the skull fuck. I mean, we're not PG here, ladies and gentlemen. He just drove his skull face first into the mat.
And that is a sign of, you know, just disrespect. Just out.
I mean, it is disrespect, but it's also a very impactful move. You know, and now he's kind of symbolically kicking dirt at the face of Suge, showing that he's not taking him seriously, like you said.
Driving further disrespect. Just, you know, saying, screw you, buddy. You know, pulling his hair, driving his face into the canvas there. Shelley,
A little bit of the athletics of Suge.
Okay. Shelley just...
Changing direction. Suge looking to confuse him and is able to catch him with a clothesline there.
Shelley made some mistakes here. You said he took some time off. He dropped him several times there, expecting Suge to go up and over, but Suge outsmarting Shelley there in that exchange.
There's a lifter in the corner.
That British style, that British strong style coming into play.
Shelley takes him face first into the turnbuckles.
Oh, God.
Suge played to the crowd a little bit too much. I mean, he is the hometown favorite.
He's a hometown favorite, and Alex Shelley, he doesn't care. He's letting the fans, you know, cheer for him, because all he wants to do right here is to beat this guy.
Shelley now going up to the top.
Taking his time.
Big top rope crossbody, hooks the leg. Only a 2 count, though. Senior official Max Recon right there in position. Only a 2 count. Suge seemed to have the breath knocked out of him with that one.
Shelley looks a little perplexed. I think he really thought that perhaps he had to win there.
I don't think he took, as you mentioned, I don't know if he took, you know, Suge as seriously as he should. I don't know if he expected this kind of contest out of Suge.
He's getting his contest and then some, so perhaps she's got to rethink his game plan here. But it's hard to think when somebody's beating you down like Suge is doing right now.
Just wearing him out in the corner with a series of lifters there. See, look crazy look in Suge's eyes. Playtime might be over.
Oh, but Shelley came to play. He's taking all 5 fingers, that hand, showing Suge what the Motor City's all about there. Oh!
There he's going machine gun style chops in the corner.
Just lighting Suge up.
Finishes it with one that almost knocks Suge out into the crowd. Oh, ultimate disrespect there.
That was
and now just
disgusting.
cocky playing to some of the fans at ringside.
This is a different Alex Shelley. I've watched him over the years here. I've seen the happy-go-lucky Shelley. I mean, he came out, he gave his dog tags to a fan, but his demeanor here has changed quickly. And I think maybe that's a sign of frustration here. Oh.
Well, there was, I mean, Shelley's looking at his hand like he just made him with a closed fist right there. Blowing a kiss right in Suge's face, just disrespect after disrespect. he's not even trying to continue the attack. He's just, you know, goading Suge to get back up to his feet and keep fighting.
He just, I don't know, I think Alex Shelley perhaps expected something easy and fun here, and now that he's bringing the fight to Suge, he's showing that he doesn't think that Suge has what it takes to beat somebody of his caliber. I mean, Alex Shelley does, you know, teaching seminars all over. He's taking time off, but he's learned so much, and he probably thinks that he knows more than Suge at this point.
Well, I mean, I think that's what Suge has constantly tried to battle his whole career, is people underestimating him, people thinking that he doesn't belong at, you know, as high a caliber. Shelley right into the border city stretch.
Wow.
Center of the ring. Suge is very, very far from that rope.
That was sliced bread right into that maneuver there, and this, oh, Suge's in a bad, bad place right there. Look how far away he is.
He's far from the ropes. The stretch on the neck, on the shoulder, on the back.
Just, you can see the pain as he's kicking and clawing here, trying to get to the rope.
Suge trying to reposition himself to get to the ropes. And he's reached the bottom rope, forcing a break of the hold.
Shelley took his time, though, releasing that hold. The damage could be done. He's relaxing a little bit here.
Yeah, he released the hold, but then he just kind of took a bit of a breather there on Suge's back.
He just laid on him like he was nothing. Again, just showing off that he really doesn't care about this opponent, and he just thinks nothing of him. That right there, a different Shelley that I'm used to seeing, but again, new attitude maybe.
I mean, it is proving effective. I mean, Shelley has been in control of this match for the last several minutes, and Suge is trying valiantly to fight from underneath with some right hands there to the jaw.
Finally breaking Shelley down. Shelley, oh God!
Shelley was still able to hang on to the wrist control and snap the elbow across the shoulder right there.
Shelley was asking Suge, hit me harder. Suge was giving all that he could, broke Shelley down, but again, I think that was a veteran maneuver there to get Suge feeling confident, where Shelley was able to take advantage of that confidence. That one slight mistake has Suge in the corner, just hurt.
Now Suge yet again is messing with that wrist pad. His elbow now in a lot of trouble. His wrist or his hand, we're not quite sure the extent of that injury.
Referee has checked on him. Suge says he's ready to go. Still wants to continue this match, but I don't know if that's smart for just, you know, for his general health and well-being here.
I mean, Suge was able to get, you know, he's proving he's able to evade, but he hasn't really been able to fire back with an offensive strike yet.
Now, Shelley's got a problem with his hand there, hitting that turnbuckle hard as Suge ducked out of the way.
Suge rallying together, a series of strikes.
Talking about hard. That was a hella hard strike there. Shelley might be a little loopy there.
Suge now going to the body with some of those shots. Not what you usually see in professional wrestling.
No,
Suge mixing it up. I mean, he's taking some boxing style there.
he is. Shelley tried to cover up, but Suge just broke him down. Oh!
There, he uncorks the big right hand.
Look at this.
Now goes into the cover, hooks the leg. Shelley not done yet. Suge is feeling it, though. He's feeling this Atlanta crowd. The Fanatics firmly behind Suge D at this point.
Firmly behind Suge. Suge's got something in mind. Shelley's struggling, getting up to his feet. Oh, wow.
Suge rolls up, slams Shelley face first.
Look at
Hooks
that.
the leg now, 2, 3. Wow, I think Shelley was able to kick out, but Suge thought he had the win there.
Everybody did. Even Shelley had to double check with the ref, like, hey, that was a 2. That was just so close.
Suge now staying on Shelley with the waist lock.
Shelley able to hold on there. Suge. Oh!
Takes a soul butt right into the solar plexus. Shelley now going slice bread. Driving Suge straight down. 2, 3.
Wait. Did he kick
Was
it?
that Max Recon says it is a 2 count. Shelley doesn't believe him.
Shelley is campaigning here for a little bit because he thought he's won championships around the world with that move right there that Suge D just kicked out of.
But the playbook of Alex Shelley is very, very deep. So he goes right back, setting up for another maneuver. Going for shell shock.
Oh,
Driving
him.
Suge
That's
on
gotta
his
be
face.
it.
2, Threw it right into the Border City stretch. Suge was able to kick out. Shelley's rolled up too. Whoa.
These two are going back and forth here. Just maneuver after maneuver, pinfall attempt after pinfall attempt, reversal after reversal. And this is how we start the show.
Enziguri by Shelley. Suge with a rolling elbow.
Oh, God.
Super kick there.
Right to the side of the face. Oh, no, no.
Suge catches the other one. Now rolls him up. Back bridge 2, 3. Alex Shelley is going nuts.
He's beside himself over there. Suge
Did what some would think is the impossible. He just out-wrestled Alex Shelley. It was a wrestling maneuver, a pinning combination. A schoolboy rolled into the back bridge to hold Alex's shoulders down for the 3 count. Suge T, the Techer, has just laid his claim to now be considered among the best Techers in the world with this enormous pinfall victory over one of the best pound for pound in Alex Shelley.
That was a huge, well-fought, well-deserved victory for Suge D here.
It's because I was fucking late. Now I know you're not for me after what I just did with him. We lose or draw, we gave you a show. We gave you a fight. I came back to wrestling for that. I came back to get beat. That may sound strange to you, but to me, that means in order to beat you, it's as simple as leveling up. So I'll tell you what. March 15th.
Yeah.
There's another show. Yeah. In this building. This serves as a personal invitation to each and every one of you, but especially for you, I guess I honor to you again. I want my win. I'm gonna give you your answer, but I'll second before I do. I came off of a plane after spending almost a year and a half in the UK in exile. Because you get off in the States and because everybody wants to contract chase and clout chase and all my gift this and how many views that. It's like everybody forgot there's an art to this wrestling shit. Art don't need likes, views, and oh man, you did such a great job. Art is art. And even though we got into it, we painted a hell of a picture on this canvas. So as much as I love these, as much as I love the UK, as much as it's taught me, as much as I've made a better man of myself because of it, I said I needed to be back here because people have forgotten the art of this shit, and I'm here to remind them. I'm not playing stand-up comedy anymore. I only want the best. So if the best challenges me to another rematch, well, maybe in New Japan, maybe in Impact, maybe in Ring of Honor, maybe all the places you've been. In any other universe, you'd have me beat. But here, on this ground, and Anna's ground, you will say